After we select the participants, we need to decide how to collect the data from those participants. Today, we will be talking about instrumentation in research. Data refers to the information researchers obtain on the participants of their research. Demographic information or scores from a test are examples of data. We call the test questionnaires, rating scales, or other devices instruments. Researchers have to determine what kind of data they need to collect for a study. The instruments and procedures used in collecting data are called instrumentations. It involves the selection or design of the instruments as well as the procedures and conditions under which the instruments will be administered. You can find this information in the methods section of a research paper. We can ask these questions regarding the procedures and conditions such as time, place, and the frequency of the data collection. Also, who will collect the data? Let's briefly discuss the validity, reliability, objectivity, and usability of instruments. Validity. The instrument should measure what it is supposed to measure. This is the general idea of validity. It is important for your studies to have valid instruments. Reliability involves consistency, which gives researchers confidence that the results actually represent the achievement of the individuals involved. Researchers need to document the validity and reliability of instruments used in their studies. Objectivity refers to the absence of subjective judgments. Complete objectivity is probably never obtained, but researchers should seek to minimize subjective judgments about the subjects. Also be aware of the difference between quantitative and qualitative research. Usability. An important consideration when choosing an instrument is how easy it will be to actually use. For instance, researchers need to consider the length of the instruments. A super long instrument may be too time-consuming for a study. You can find related information if you search social validity of your interested instrument. Researcher-completed instruments include the following. Researcher-completed instruments mean that participants do not fill out the form or complete the test themselves. Subject-completed instruments are filled by subjects or participants. For example, students may need to complete achievement or aptitude tests for researchers in their research studies. The situation for researcher-completed instruments is a bit different. Although we call it researcher-completed instruments and state that researchers are doing the data collection, the instruments might not be completed by researchers themselves. For instance, teachers or parents could complete behavioral rating scales for their children, but researchers conduct data analysis. Researchers serve as the primary data collectors in most of the qualitative studies, such as filling out observation forms. Please review the textbook concerning examples of instruments. It will make more sense when you work with a specific type of instruments. Different instruments may have different item formats. You may have learned this from an assessment course. Let's give it a quick review. Questions used in an instrument can take many forms but are classified as either selection or supply items. Examples of selection items include true or false items, matching items, and multiple choice items. Multiple choice items are the most common selection items. You can use interpretive exercise items to test more complex learning outcomes. Examples of supply items include short answer items and essay questions. Many instruments require the cooperation of the respondents in one way or another. An intrusion into an ongoing activity could be involved, which causes a form of negativity within the respondents. To eliminate this, researchers use unobtrusive measures. In most cases, no instrument is used. However, good record keeping is not only necessary but also valuable as supplements to use in interviews and questionnaires. Norm-referenced and criterion-referenced instruments. Please take a moment to review the distinguishing features of these two types of instruments. The difference between the two is that criterion-referenced tests focus more directly on instruction, and the norm-referenced tests focus more on people. For instance, GRE or SAT scores are norm-referenced instruments in which we care about participants' scores with a norm group. The driver's license test is a criterion-referenced instrument. There are 4 different types of measurement skills. You can use nominal measurement skills, which involve groups and labels of data only. This skill reports frequencies or percentages. Ordinal data involves ranking. Numbers are used to rank data only. Interval data assumes that there is an equal difference between each score, which would suggest that the score represents equal differences in value in the variable at which you are looking. A ratio skill uses an interval skill but has a true 0 point. Here are some examples of each measurement skill. Gender is a typical example of nominal skill. You can classify participants into female and male. Other examples include majors in college and ethnicity. An ordinal skill could be the rank in a race. Difference between different ranks are not the same. Temperature is an example of interval skill. A ratio skill would be similar to an interval skill except it has a true 0 point such as money. Like most of the other chapters, this is an overview of instrumentation. Please check the assessment or measurement courses that are offered if you need more information.